Hello, aspiring hunters. Welcome to the Hunter Experience. The Freecss family has always been shrouded in mystery, even among the most experienced hunters. Ging, with his brilliant mind and expeditions to the most dangerous places in the world, seems to possess an unusual connection to the unknown. Gon, in turn, shows physical capabilities and a natural affinity that go far beyond what would be considered normal, even for a talented Nen user. But what if this exceptional nature isn't just a coincidence? What if the Freecss, much like Aluka Zoldyck and the Chimera Ants, are remnants of something far older and far darker, perhaps even tied to the Dark Continent? I believe there are subtle hints scattered throughout the narrative that suggest this possibility. If you're prepared for the incredible hunter journey, click like and subscribe to the channel to join our troop. Don't forget to comment on who your favorite character is in Hunter x Hunter. Now, let's continue with this incredible story. From the very beginning, Gon displays traits that deeply set him apart from other humans. His physical endurance is absurd, his recovery from serious injuries is almost supernatural, and his connection with animals and wild environments goes beyond what could be explained by his upbringing on Whale Island alone. When he faces opponents like Hanzo or even Hisoka, there's something about his persistence and his ability to withstand pain that feels different. Maybe it's not just determination, maybe it's something in his blood. The Dark Continent, as we know, is a place where the impossible seems to be the norm. Aluka, a creature whose powers defy the very laws of Nen, came from there. The Chimera Ants, beings who evolved to surpass even the strongest aura users, also emerged from that uncharted land. What if, at some point in the past, something similar happened to Gon's ancestors? I don't think it's absurd to speculate that the Freecksses might have a lineage that traces back to creatures or humans altered by the hostile environment of the Dark Continent. After all, Ging doesn't just want to explore that place, he seems to understand things that others wouldn't even consider. Let's examine some specific moments. During the Chimera Ant arc, Gon reaches a level of power that borders on the unbelievable. His transformation against P2 doesn't feel like just an extreme use of Nen. It feels organic, like he was unleashing a part of himself that had always been there, dormant. The way his hair grows, his senses sharpen, and his body changes is reminiscent of the adaptive biology of the Chimera Ants. Who's to say that isn't an ancestral trait, a genetic inheritance from a time when the Freecksses weren't entirely human? Another interesting point is Gon's relationship with animals. From the beginning of the series, we see that wild creatures, even the most dangerous ones, tend not to see him as a threat. Kiriko himself, during the Hunter exam, finds his ease with the forest strange. I think this could be more than just an instinctive ability. It might be an inherent trait of something he is. If Chimera Ants can be born with a natural connection to flora and fauna, why couldn't Gon have developed something similar through his lineage? And then there's Ging. His knowledge of ruins and lost civilizations is unmatched, and his decision to venture into the Dark Continent doesn't seem like a random choice. He acts like someone following a trail, as if he knows there's something there that belongs to him. Perhaps he already suspects the truth about his family. Maybe he's trying to confirm a theory he never dared to tell Gon. After all, if the Zoldicks have monstrous secrets in their family tree, like Aluka and Kaluto, why couldn't the Freecss have theirs? Even more disturbing is the idea that if this theory is correct, Gon might not be the only one. Don Freecss, the legendary ancestor supposedly still alive and writing the world's encyclopedia, has always been treated as an almost mythical figure. But what if he's not human? What if he's actually a remnant of a much older lineage, originating from the Dark Continent? That would explain his unnatural longevity and his unparalleled knowledge. Of course, all of this is still speculation, but I think the clues are there, scattered across Togashi's narrative. The way Gon recovers from injuries, the way Ging seems to know things no one else does, Don Freecss' strange familiarity with the world's secrets, it all fits together too well to be mere coincidence. Maybe when we finally explore the Dark Continent, we'll discover that the Freecss aren't just adventurers, but something much closer to the calamities that dwell there. And if it's true, what would that mean for Gon? Could he be carrying within him not just the potential of a great hunter, but also the legacy of something much older and much more dangerous? If the theory about the Freeckss' origins is correct, then Gon isn't just an exceptional human. He's the heir to something far more complex and potentially disturbing. The question is, what would happen if that dormant legacy were to fully awaken? And how does it connect to the other anomalies we've already seen in the world of Hunter x Hunter? I think the answer might lie in the way Gon's Nen behaves in extreme moments. During his transformation against P2, it wasn't just his aura that changed, it was his very body. His bones elongated, his muscles reconstructed, his senses shifted. This doesn't just look like a Nen contract, It resembles a biological metamorphosis, as if something inside him was activated. Maybe this wasn't just a learned technique, but an ancestral trait surfacing under extreme stress. After all, if chimera ants can evolve rapidly in response to threats, why couldn't Gon have a similar, if latent, ability? Another intriguing aspect is how Ging seems to understand Nen mechanisms that defy common logic. His ability to replicate almost any technique after seeing it once is reminiscent of the adaptability of creatures from the Dark Continent. During the election arc, he demonstrated a deep knowledge of Nen conditions and restrictions that even experts like Fisky didn't have. What if this isn't learned knowledge, but intuitive? Something written into his blood? After all, if Aluka can manipulate reality with mere wishes, why couldn't the Freecss have a unique relationship with the rules of Nen? It's also worth noting that Don Freecss, the enigmatic ancestor, not only survived for centuries, but continues to document the world as if he were beyond human limitations. If he truly came from the Dark Continent, or descends from something that did, that could explain why his knowledge is so vast and at the same time so different from what ordinary hunters understand. Perhaps his encyclopedia is not merely a historical record, but a study of the very ecosystem that created him, an ecosystem that may have left traces in his lineage. And there's another disturbing detail: Gon's reaction when using Zetsu. While for most Nen users, Zetsu is a state of vulnerability, Gon seems almost natural in this state, as if he's returning to a default mode. This is eerily similar to how some creatures from the Dark Continent operate, alternating between bursts of power and periods of complete inactivity. I believe this may be yet another sign that his biology is not entirely human. But if the Freecss family truly has this heritage, why has it remained hidden for so long? Perhaps because, much like how Aluka was kept hidden by the Zoldycks, the Freecss have learned to suppress their more dangerous traits. Ging might be aware of this, which is why he keeps his distance. Not out of disinterest, but because he knows that the less Gon knows, the safer he'll be. After all, if the Dark Continent is so dangerous that even Netero hesitated to explore it, what would happen if someone with that blood fully awakened? The possibility that Gon and his family are descendants of something beyond human, perhaps remnants of the Dark Continent, or heirs to a lineage as ancient as it is dangerous, is not just a fascinating theory, but one that could completely redefine our understanding of Hunter x Hunter. If we're right, then Gon isn't just a talented boy with an unbreakable will, he's the bearer of a legacy that could place him on the same level of threat as the Chimera Ants or even Aluka. But what would that mean in practice? I think, first of all, it would explain why Ging seems to know so much about places and creatures that defy logic. He's not just exploring the unknown, he is, consciously or not, searching for the origins of his own existence. His journey to the Dark Continent wouldn't just be an adventure, but a path of self-discovery. And Gon, by following in his footsteps, may be walking not just toward a reunion with his father, but toward a truth that could shake the very foundations of who he is. Furthermore, this would place Gon in a unique position within the world of hunters. If he truly carries biological or energetic traits from the Dark Continent in his blood, then his potential is far greater and far more dangerous than anyone imagined. His transformation against Pitou might have been just a glimpse of what he's capable of when his limitations are removed. The real challenge, then, wouldn't be to recover his Nen or to grow stronger, but to learn how to control whatever lies dormant within him before it consumes him. And finally, there's the question of the Dark Continent itself. If the Freecss are connected to that place, then its exploration won't be just a mission of discovery, but a journey to the roots of their very nature. Perhaps that's where the answers Ging seeks lie, and the dangers he's trying somehow to keep away from Gon. In the end, whether this theory proves true or not, one thing is certain: the Freecss are not an ordinary family, whether through their uncommon knowledge, their supernatural resilience, or their connection to the world's deepest mysteries. They are intrinsically tied to the most enigmatic aspects of Hunter x Hunter. And when Gon finally reaches the Dark Continent, he may find that the greatest adventure is not in what he'll discover there, but in what he'll discover about himself. What lies ahead may be as wondrous as it is terrifying. And as always in the world Togashi created, the answers are never simple, but the journey to find them is what truly matters. Hunters, that was our video for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed our video, subscribe to the channel as it is still very new, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then.